Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm Karima, and this
Hello,
is
Mariana is here too. Hi
Hi
guys.
again. For those who know us, you know that we're here to do your horoscope. Welcome for everybody who is new. Mariana and I usually do like to do an horoscope for each season of the zodiac, basically. So
Hmm.
the first part is our general reading that we're doing on the podcast of the Modern Witches, and we just talk about basically the transit that is happening from during all the seasons. So for this one, for Gemini season, from the
Hmm.
20th of May to the 20th of June.
Hmm.
And then we usually come on YouTube and do an horoscope. So it's about 10 minutes horoscope for each sign of the zodiac. So you can look at your sun, at your moon, or at your ascendant and look what resonates with you. Sometimes it's like two signs and it's like a good general reading for you. But we
Hmm.
highly advise to look and to listen to the podcast and the general reading because you will have more insight about all the transit. In the horoscope, we really focus on specific ones.
Yeah,
What else? We're just excited to be with you
I'm
guys
so
and
excited. Gemini season is ahead of us, so it's gonna be a good one. It's a lighter energy season as
yeah,
a mutable sign. So check out all your placements.
for sure. And feel free to likes, feel free to comments, feel free to tell us if it resonates with you or not, or what you're going through. It's always helpful for other people to know what the same family sign are living through, or even for us, Mariana and I, and we can see what is very important for you.
For sure.
So I
Now we're
think
gonna
that's
do
it.
the sign by sign. So go
Go
ahead and
for it.
hi, Aries. Welcome to your Gemini season. We're so happy to welcome you if you're a new listener, or welcome back if you've been listening to us before. So, this Gemini season for the Aries Sun, Moon, or Rising is activating your third house of communication, of your immediate environment, of your siblings, your neighbors, your roommates, people you deal on daily basis, like people in your grocery store, or like, it's just what you do day in and day out. So a lot of exposure is coming to that part of your chart. Also, Gemini invites Aries people to open themselves to new ways of studying, learning, connecting, communicating. If you want to start a business, if you want to initiate some kind of course or new study or new connection, or you want to like collaborate with someone, specifically once Mercury goes direct on June 3rd, which is the ruler of Gemini, this is such a beautiful time to start those kind of projects. Yeah.
Yeah.
um
And the third house also relate like so sometimes, especially in traditional astrology, the third house relate to your daily routine
mhm.
and your schedule. So you might feel that Mercury retrograde is in that part of your chart, so messed up with your schedule, being late,
Mhm.
forgetting that you have an appointment, stuff like this can happen, especially if you have
Yep.
a strong Mercury in your chart.
Mhm.
But yes, Sun in Gemini is very good for Aries because the Gemini is communicating very well with Aries. Gemini is an air sign. They're sextiling by Sun, so they create an harmonious aspect. And
Mhm.
so the air of Gemini, Gemini is an air sign, feed the fire of Aries. So it's
Yeah.
a very nice combo to have and to grow with, especially for
Yeah.
any type of project you have. It can be about yourself, it can be spiritual, it can be work, it can be anything related because everything is about your first house areas. There's so much in your first house. So I do think
I love that.
everything, yes, even if we're in Gemini season and your third house is very focused, there's a lot happening in your first house. So
Yeah.
it's a lot about you and your relationship, you and your family, you and your work. It's whatever is happening in your life. It's a
Yeah.
big starting point.
Absolutely. It's like with to what you say, we have to the most active of planets being in your sign. Mars in Aries from May 24th, and Jupiter is already in Aries as we speak, and they will come together on May 28th in your first house. So here you have a lot of like that drive, that energy, that willpower. And because Jupiter is also about education and learning, and Sun being in your house of also learning and like brushing on your skill set, right? So here you have this willpower and drive to expand your skill set, to put yourself, the self, first house, Mars, Jupiter, and apply it in the ways that you make the right connections. You start off new things, you know, like because third house is also very much about business. It's a merchant placement, right? So it's like if you want to start a business, if you want to start like that YouTube channel or that podcast or get back to that Instagram thing, you know, like all that, especially after Mercury goes, which is the ruler of this season on June 3rd. Go ahead, do that.
I do think like for you guys, like it's a prep time from May 20 to June 3rd. Like it's still like Aries have been on the starting block for so long. So like, not yet. Are you starting now? Not yet. Like, are you figuring it out? And so it's still like a break because with Jupiter going to Aries, it's like, oh my God, this is a year from May 2022 to May 2023, when even if Jupiter go back to Pisces for a little bit, it's still a year where Jupiter is like the background of Jupiter in Aries. And so it's a lot of asking you to grow, to expand, to bring new things in your life, in your personal, for you in terms of your personal persona, but also with the world. But with Mercury retrograde in the third house, which is your environment, it's very much like you still need to review some stuff and still need to work on some things. So we're going step by step, but June 3rd is very a date when the station directs. So it's a very good time for you to actually start to implement what you prep for it. So you might do some readjustment from May 20 to June 3rd, but that will go for it. And like with Mars, Mars is your planet, you're ruled by Mars. In that part of your chart, in the first house, bring you a lot of energies, energy.
Especially if your Aries rising, when Mars comes closer to your rising sign, it's like it's the major, your ruler crossing your rising. It's just a whole, it's in my mind a new year or birthday, a second birthday almost, because when our ruler crosses our ascendant, which it's always like a major point, you keep like watch few days if you know the degree of your rising when Mars is going to be there, like events that happen there, very symbolic for the next 2.5 years, which is the cycle, 2.5 years cycle of Mars. And then we have a new moon in Gemini on May 30th in your third house. Venus is going to be already in Taurus by then, which is also good. The value system is on point. The Venus is exalted here, so your money situation can really improve here through the connection, through the initiate, because third house is effort, is a house of effort that we make, right? It's our, what we do is what we get, how we do it. It's like about if you hustle, you get something. So that new moon in Gemini on May 30th is a beautiful time, I think, right?
Yeah.
To start things. And Mercury, the ruler of that new moon, is making a lot of connections. It's like Mercury on the day of the new moon, Mercury, the ruler of this new moon, is going to connect with North Node, with Saturn, harmoniously with Pluto and Neptune. So here it's like we are really, through communication, we're refining the next chapter. We're refining the direction through the effort that we put in with our communication. Sorry, speaking about communication, my voice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a very nice time for you, and it's going to be a nice time for you moving forward. you're going to be just be careful on not being too aggressive to others. Because with Mars and Jupiter in your first house, it's to give you a lot of energy to also make your point, communicate your value, moving forward, and making sure that what you want to create it's done and being heard. But it can be very don't forget the collaboration part. Even if it's not a time for you to collaborate, but more being on your own, it is also around your environment. The third house is about your sibling, it's about your neighbors, it's about also your community, people around you. So just be careful not being too aggressive in what you said to someone. That can be, especially with Mercury retrograde, really misunderstood or not taken out of context. So just a little warning here.
Yeah, it's a good one because the Mercury retrograde and Mars and Jupiter are just a little bit potentially inflating the ego.
Yeah, definitely.
We have a little bit of impulsivity check that's needed, and then we have a full moon in Sagittarius on June 14th, which I think this is the time where we finalize a lot of things that has to do with educational cycles, because around that time Venus is coming together with North Node, or like almost there, and it's just like this moment where, and Mars is going to be conjunct Chiron around that full moon, so healing that, learning, maybe being more philosophical about our wounding, maybe understanding more having more broad perspective about our wounds. And then with North Node and Venus coming together, it's just like what we've learned and what is the value that the universe is asking us to head towards is very much a theme for this full moon, I feel like.
Yeah, and it's funny that you talk about the full moon because I put up a card from the Modern Witch tarot deck, the one that we like, just making Modern Witch tarot deck, Modern Witch's Conference, seems really good to have. And we had the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is fire, is your element. The Wands are your elements, is fire. The Nine of Wands usually explain or picture still the last step of a battle. When all the Wands are here, I don't know if you see it very well, but all the Wands are here, she's wounded, she's still standing up with one Wands. You still need to have, it's still a step to do. So it's not like, if you work on a project, on a relationship, or on yourself, there's still work to do. And I know you've been like working hard on yourself and trying to move forward, but there's still a little bit of work to do. And that asking you to keep moving and keep fighting, which is very
symbolic. Can I say something about that? It just so resonated with Mars conjunct Chiron. It's like a wounded warrior. Yeah. It's just so like, I'm like, as soon as you showed it, I was like, Mars conjunct Chiron on the full moon, yay.
Yeah, and just at the bottom of the deck, we had the moon when you were talking about the full moon. So I just feel it's very potent.
It's gonna be the full moon, yeah, especially like in Sagittarius, if you have some legal things that are coming, maybe some news or some development, further development will happen around that time too. You know, because after the North Node, South Node transit from Gemini, Sagittarius, this is the full moon in Sagittarius since then. So it's like, it can be some kind of symbolic ending.
Yeah.
So interesting.
And you just the sign Sagittarius, so.
Yeah.
Fire sign too.
Yeah.
So I hope you liked it, Aries. We give you many kisses, bisous, bisous, and we wish you a happy Gemini season.
Yeah. Have fun, guys.
Bye-bye.